would say if you're someone who trains in the morning and you feel great training fasted, that's totally fine. And I would say like continue to do that if that works for your lifestyle, because especially people who wake up at, 4:30 or 5, they're not going to want to consume a full meal before they're training and like try to digest that. So if you feel good fasted training, then go for it. If your goal is to build muscle and put yourself in the best environment possible, there are some strategies around that. So you could potentially have like a protein shake that you sip on, before you train or throughout. So maybe like a whey or egg white, some type of fast digesting protein powder. So you're kind of sipping on that, before you start your workout and throughout it. That's going to help with just getting that kind of one protein feeding in, right? To put yourself in that anabolic state. If you're not good, like if you want to continue training fasted, I would say that just making sure that you are having enough protein post-workout. So it really just comes down to thinking about, we've probably heard of the anabolic window, right? That is like, we've been told, at least I have been told in the past, that you have to like down a protein shake right after your workout, because then if you don't, you're going to lose all your muscle. It doesn't really work like that. So the anabolic window is basically, it's really kind of like a bodybuilding bro term where they say like after your workout, you're supposed to consume like a bolus of protein like within, 20 minutes of leaving the gym, or like right when you leave the gym, or you're going to lose all your muscle that you just, worked so hard for. And it's first of all, the window that they talk about is more so like an extended like garage door, I would say you could call it, because it's not just this small period of time. It really does depend on how long you've gone without a protein or a feeding. So if you, like I said, if you had a shake before your workout, right, or throughout it, after your workout, you can wait a little bit longer, like maybe a few hours before you have your full meal, versus if you were to train fasted and you haven't eaten for like 12 hours, right, you're fasting throughout the night, then that window does become a little bit more important, right? Because you're looking at the full timing of the last time you ate, basically, and the last time you had a protein feeding. So if you are going into your training fasted, then it's probably more beneficial to get a meal a little bit closer after your training, versus if you were to have a meal before your training, then it's not as important. You could probably wait a little bit longer. And then it also goes back to that recovery side of things, and it kind of, we can even get into the benefits of carbs post-workout and all of that. I would say, again, it's really like there's no like, oh my gosh, if you don't have a protein feeding within, an hour, like your window's gone. Like it doesn't typically work like that. But if we're trying to optimize, I would say that if you went into your training completely fasted, like you've been fasting, you went to bed and you woke up, trained with just some water or whatever, then I would say probably getting either a protein feeding in, like a 30 grams of protein throughout, like in a shake or something like that, within maybe an hour and a half, and then maybe having like a full meal a few hours later, because some people don't like to eat right after they train. Or if you do want to just maybe wait like an hour and then have a full meal with protein, your protein feeding, carbs, whatever it may be, that's totally fine too. So it's just thinking about, okay, like literally just thinking practically about it. Like how long have I been fasting for? And have I been more in this catabolic state? Let's get into that anabolic state because it's been a little while. Versus if you ate before, then maybe you can go 3 hours without having that feeding. But it also does come down to like, what are your other feedings throughout the day? And I think I would start there first, like planning your feedings out, like when you typically eat, and then kind of structuring it in that way.